Seems like almost everybody loves Pinot Noir. Its origins lie in Burgundy. France has the most plantings of the grape of any country in the world with around 32,000 hectares of vineyards. But these two countries come in second and third respectively. Number 2 is America with 25,000 hectares of vineyards, and Germany comes in third with 12,000 hectares of vineyards. There they call the grape Spätburgunder. California has the most plantings of Pinot Noir, although Oregon is making its name, especially the Willamette Valley. Styles vary all over the country. Today we actually have a Pinot Noir from Mendocino County, which I believe has the 5th most plantings of Pinot Noir by county. I have to say I'm not super familiar with Mendocino County, though I've tasted a number of examples from Anderson Valley. I think the most famous one is Duckhorn has an estate there they call Goldeneye. You know, Goldeneye like James Bond. Personally, when it comes to California Pinot Noir, I've always preferred Santa Barbara County, although lately I've been tasting some examples from Sonoma, which really impressed me. In Germany, I have an example from the Pfalz. The Pfalz is known for bigger Rieslings. It's basically an extension of Alsace, the way the borders are. There are mountains on the west side that block some of the rain. It's a little hotter, a little drier. The wines tend to be a little bit bigger. I have to say in the past, I haven't been the highest on Pinot Noir from the Pfalz. Usually I like those from Bernard Hubert and Baden, Stauden in the Ahr, and then my personal favorite, Rudolf Fürst in Franken. Although there's some interesting examples from the Mosel too. Pinot Noir in both countries can vary dramatically. Even in California, it can be completely different. My stereotype of the Sonoma style is usually bigger with a little bit more new oak. I like the ones from Santa Barbara because it's almost like I can taste the sea. The ones in Oregon have really impressed me lately. If you didn't see my blind tasting Willamette Valley video, I'll put it in the description box. Those tend to be a little earthier. The old stereotypical deep-colored Syrah injected California fruity Pinot Noir styles going a little bit to the wayside, although it still exists out there. In Germany, the styles are all over the place because you have different clones. You have the French clones coming from Burgundy. You also have the Spätburgunder clones, the local clones, which taste completely different. Pinot Noir in Germany can taste refined, Burgundian almost. I find that the Spätburgunder clones tend to be a little bit darker, have more black raspberry, mulberry type of flavors. It's almost like a different category in itself. There's stories behind both of these wines. First, the Pinot Noir from Mendocino County. I have a good friend named Drew DiMatteo. He used to live in New Jersey. He's retired now and lives in Sonoma County. Back when he was towards the end of his career, I visited him in New Jersey. He's a wine geek through and through. Took me all around New Jersey, Philadelphia. We went hunting for Philly cheesesteaks. We went to different dinners in Manhattan, tasting different wines with him, myself, and my then girlfriend. He's moved out to California. He's retired, and now he's just living his life, hanging out with winemakers all the time. And his Instagram, he's always having winemakers over for dinner. That's where I met this winemaker. She's a young woman who made wine in New Zealand to start her career. She then moved to California, where she made wines at a number of properties, including Three Sticks, which is a pretty renowned property in California. She's now a head winemaker at a bigger brand, but she makes a small production of her own wines, which we have here today. I've exchanged a few messages with her on Instagram. She seems really fun, so I'm hoping the wine is fun too. The next wine we have from the Pfalz is a couple months ago I judged at the Mundus Vini wine competition, which is located in the Pfalz in Germany. There I met this young sommelier from Norway. We've been in contact several times over Instagram and over YouTube before. He actually carries this producer at his restaurant, and he showed me some of the wines. I thought, wow, these are pretty impressive because it's not a VDP producer. He connected me with the producer. The producer said, hey, do you want to taste more of our wines? I'll drop a case off at the hotel where you're staying. So I said, sure, why not? I want to taste more of them. So Carl, thanks a lot if you're watching. But enough yapping, let's taste some wines. Oh yeah, I'm excited about this. Tasting out of my Riedel Pinot Noir performance glasses. These were a Christmas gift to myself. I usually don't have to buy glasses. I'm getting a lot of samples sent to me, but I really wanted to try these. They're quickly becoming my favorite wine glasses. They're not cheap. I'll put a link in the description box if you want to check them out. I think they work great for a lot of wines, not only Pinot Noir. I Coravin these as always and had somebody mix them up for me. I'm gonna start from your left and then move over to your right. I think it's an easier viewing experience for you, though sometimes I forget and I go from my left to my right. Okay, let's start out with wine number 1 here. Both of them are a little darker in color for Pinot Noir. Let's take a look here. Number one, tons of reduction on purpose. You get some of the slaty note, a little bit of almost kind of an eggshell flinty type flavor. It's not a bad thing. Like tons of reduction. I get a lot of black raspberry, pepper, black mulberry like I was talking about. This tastes more like a Spätburgunder clone. I don't know what clones this producer uses. I'll send them a message, and if I figure it out by the time this is released, I'll drop it in a comment. All right. Really, it's just really flinty. Sometimes the wines from Tasmania, Australia, sometimes New Zealand are made in this style with this reduction on purpose. So, and it's darker, denser. Maybe if it was double blind, I might even think maybe it's a Pinot Noir from Martinborough even. Just smells a little bit denser. Wow. True Pinot Noir flavors on the palate. Usually with Pinot Noir, I'm looking for red raspberry flavors. There is red raspberry. There's also black raspberry and black mulberries here. And it works. It's not too ripe. The cool thing about German Spätburgunder is Pinot Noir, when it gets overripe, it can get flabby, too dark, too fruity. This German Spätburgunder can get a little more darker fruited, but yet still has the brightness, the prettiness of Pinot Noir. Tannins are soft. Wood integration is perfect. That's a great wine. Let's move on here to number two. Two smells even denser, even darker. Two has almost like dark cherry flavors, cranberry even. A little bit of earthy type notes. I don't even know if I would almost think that this is maybe like a Sonoma style Pinot Noir. It's bigger, although it's not oaky at all. Wait a second, hold on. You really got to shake it out a little bit. Some violets start to come out. Wow. This Pinot Noir, it's not humongous, but it's more full-bodied. It's got subtle power. You really have a spike of red fruit flavors on the mid palate, on the back end. This is a complex wine. Wow, that's good. Let me compare to one again. Really hard to see which one I like more. These are two great wines. It's really hard for me because I feel like I like the flavor and the aromas of one more, but when it comes to the power on the mid palate, the finish and the complexity in the back end, I think two is a better wine, and I like the experience on the palate a little bit more. I don't know. I think this is German. I think this is American. I think I'm going to go with wine number one, 93. And then here on the left, 94-ish because of that complexity. They're both great. I both enjoy drinking these a lot. Let's take a look here. I think this is German. Let's take a look. It is. A little hot tip before I do the reveal. This is from the Pfalz. When you see on the back label two German words, like this one says Herxheimer, Himmelreich. The first word is the village, Herxheim. The second one, Himmelreich, that is the vineyard, single vineyard wine. This is the Krebs Spätburgunder. Like I said, Herxheimer, Himmelreich. This is their reserve Pinot Noir. Comes in at 48 bucks. I thought this was outstanding. It has darker fruit like a German Spätburgunder, but I think double blind, I might even say something like Martinborough from New Zealand. That's an excellent wine. Okay, number two. Like I said, I think I prefer the flavors here a little bit more, but the complexity in the back end just got to me, and the spike of red fruit really took me off guard. I think this is American, so we know it is. This is the Riedel Holland Pinot Noir, Anderson Valley, the Deep End 2019. You can only get this from her limited production. I'll put her website there below. This is 2019. This comes in at 60 bucks. So both are just outstanding Pinot Noirs. The ones I've had from Anderson Valley tend to be a little bit lighter from Mendocino County. I'm surprised this is a little denser, a little bit richer. So tell me, do you prefer German Spätburgunder, American Pinot Noir, or some other country? I'd love to hear. Drop it in the comments below.